Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video where today we return with round 2 of the VRS GT3 series here from Imola. Yes, of course, we did last week's race over at Sebring. Of course, I mentioned in that video it's probably going to be one of the most competitive grids of the season. But of course, Sebring 12 hours this weekend. Imola, not exactly the same circuit, of course, but still very, very good fun. So I'm sure we're going to see a lot of stiff competition here today. Line up P22 as the number 20 car, and I think we're already green flag racing then as we head down towards turn 1. It's probably going to be, though, quite a difficult race here today. It's obviously with the new slipstream changes, everything like that, it is going to make things very, very congested. And of course, the slipstream, being so little, of course, you only really get the one chance down the front straight. That might be a whole lot more difficult as we try and navigate our way through the opening couple of turns. Yeah, qualified right towards the back of the field, but luckily I am the number 20 car, so we have certainly got a lot of opportunities today to try and move forward and save my iRacing, as there's a Porsche there trying to look through. A little bit of contact between the BMW and Merc just up the road, and I also don't think this is the track to have the Audi. It's like Porsche again. It's going to dive down the inside. Someone's gone round. We've got a Merc trying to spin round, and he's just rejoined straight into the middle of the circuit behind us, so it hasn't taken long before it all starts kicking off this afternoon. Even more contacts up at the top of the hill. Let's just try and make sure that we get through clean and tidy, and I think somehow everyone has been able to get through that one fairly well as well. There, of course, you've got a few lethal corners. Aqua Minerale is definitely one of them, as not often do I get lift-off oversteer in a GT3 car, but apparently that's what's going on there. Lap 1, of course, got to try and get the tyres, everything up to scrub. But yeah, like I mentioned, this track probably not the best happy hunting ground for the Audi. Of course, big heavy curbs around this circuit. It's going to suit, pretty much your other German GT3 race cars. The Merc is always very, very planted over the curb, and the BMW eats curbs for breakfast, and the Porsche seems to handle them quite well as well. But of course, I need practice in the Audi ready for the 12 hours this weekend, so that's exactly what we're doing this race for. There is our first 1X of the day. They're just ran a little bit wide at the final corner, but I think I have made net gains on this open lap. We have got Thomas not too far behind us though as we cross the start-finish line, and we are P19 then by the end of lap 1, so not a bad little start then to this race, as we're just going to sit a little bit defensive from the Audi behind us. That looks like the Porsche in front rattling over that curbing once again. But yeah, going to be about a 23, maybe a 24 lap race this afternoon, so it's certainly going to be quite an intense one. Of course, the Audi handles the bumps of Sebring rather well, but yeah, the curbs of Imola can be a very, very different story. And of course, slowly but surely as well, eking my iRacing up. 2.4k SOF here is quite a competitive little lobby as well, especially in the GT3 cars. So just got to try and keep out of trouble, make places where we can, and of course, just trying to get up to speed as best as possible. I was a bit gutted, messed up my qualifying lap there, which would have probably netted us inside the top 10. Just took a bit too much curb actually on the exit of the not the Retifilio. Can't remember the name of the chicane there at the top of the hill. There's all the Merc in front of me. Going to take a little bit of a trip on the exit of Aqua Minerale. I think he's picked up a slowdown for his troubles. So we will apparently don't know what that was all about, but it seemed like he was trying to do a touring car style bump and run on me there. I don't know what that was. We'll have to serve a little bit of a slowdown as well. A 4x for our troubles certainly doesn't do us any favours. And now we are well and truly on the back foot. I don't know if he was just trying to sort of get rid of that slowdown and then get back on it, but that was very, very weird. Anyway, 2 laps down. We've still got a long old afternoon ahead of us. Another car off in Tamburello. That's one of our fellow Audis, so not ideal for them, as we're still very, very loose and lively through the first couple of corners, but that's going to re-promote us into P19 then. It also just doesn't feel like this track particularly suits the Audi's gearing. So we've got an Audi there trying to look at the inside of a Porsche. Wave to myself, of course, through TOSA. I've always got to mention it at some point during an Imola video. But yeah, this I feel like is going to be a lot more difficult than Sebring was. But really, really confident and hooked up there. Don't quite feel the same around Imola. Ooh, we've got another one gone. Apparently Tamburello is going to be a place for slip-ups early on in this race. Another freebie. I mean, this is what Imola can sometimes be about. Just trying to pick up freebies on iRacing. Do think Imola is probably a circuit as well that needs a rescan on this sim at this point. It does feel very, very outdated. Of course, you know, having been to the track, of course, I must add. But yeah, it's, you know, a good fun old school circuit still, but I wonder if iRacing do need to make some tweaks to it. And I think everyone as well, you know, this will really be a track that exposes the new difficulties in the way these GT3 cars handle as well. You know, very, very loose and lively. Can be a lot more slippery now as well with the traction control. So just trying to keep it tidy, as you can see again through there. I have a saw at the steering wheel. It feels like, especially on cold tyres, you don't know exactly what the car's doing underneath you a whole lot more now. There's a lot more guesswork involved. But, you know, perhaps that's a combination of also, you know, I haven't really ever done much in the Audi other than some of the big races. So, you know, it's a different platform to what I like as well. You know, I'm a big fan of the BMW, as many of you will already be aware. So that's kind of always my bread and butter of the GT3 cars, but you know, it helps improve my skills, and maybe learning some new driving techniques as well will be quite important, as apparently Porsche already into the pit lane then, so that's an incredibly early stop in this race. We've only got 7 minutes on the clock so far raced, as the BMW in front of me going to try and get a run on the Audi back down towards turn 1. Not with this lack of slipstream, my friend. Not going to happen.
There's an incident in Villeneuve. We think it might be Walther.
Apparently another car's gone off in Villeneuve, that of course being this second chicane. I'm going to make sure I leave it in third on the way in there, but you really just can't then rely on the engine brake through the corner. I can't see a car off, so... Oh, that's a lot of understeer. Where on earth is the front end going there? Come on!
Is now leading.
I want to go in through a hairpin, and apparently he wants to go straight off in towards the town, apparently.
Another
incident,
like
apparently.
Walther.
Yeah, that's definitely someone gone that time round, so that's going to be us then up into P16, so we definitely are still picking up freebies early on in this race. I'm just trying to really settle down and focus and try and get into a rhythm, because yeah, I felt like I had good pace in qualifying, but I've really struggled to try and get it all matched up where I need it in race spec. But there is a big old gaggle of cars now in front of me. That's another one. That's so annoying. 8 already is not good going. I've always struggled with the limits here at Imola on iRacing, but yeah, big gaggle of cars now just in front of us, so hopefully more opportunities will arise, and we can just sort of follow the cars in front of me, learn the lines a bit more. That is not one of them. 9X, come on.
Warned us about track limits. Keep it between the lines.
I should not. I mean, 4 of those, sorry, were from that contact, but the fact I'm averaging an instant point every lap and a half still is not reassuring.
There's an incident in Tosa. It looks like it's Pew. The pit window is now open. Yellow flag, keep your wits about you, mate.
Someone else with issues. Whoa, what on earth's going on here? 4GT in the middle of the road. Mercedes rejoining the venue as well, so I'm guessing there's been a bit of a collection there. And now suddenly we've got cars side by side as we head up the hill in towards Pirotella once more. I'm very, very surprised to see a Ford in this race, but now that gaggle of cars has suddenly got even closer in front of me. They're now filling my front windshield, but yeah, let's see what we can do then. Just under 10 minutes left of fuel in the tank as well as... Come on, lads. Stop trying to just smash each other. The other Audi's found a way through. Vincent is not happy with Ilya. Oh, that was so close. Of course, I don't really want to risk getting a 4X either for an incident that I didn't really want to be involved in. There's a nice little bit of oversteer as we head out of the chicane. Unfortunately now, that's split what was one big gaggle of cars into 2 smaller groups. So, I mean, could we potentially see either of these people pitting in at the end of this one? I mean, we don't know what their pace is like still. Someone's in, there we go. That's the Ford GT into the pit lane, so that's going to give us another freebie. But yeah, maybe these two now a little bit riled up. Someone has disconnected. I'm guessing they were behind me.
13th place.
We are 15th place though, so we're still picking up the spots. BMW try and have a look to the inside of the Audi at turn 1. Can't quite make anything happen there, and of course it's going to compromise this run off the corner, but I think we've just got to wait in the wings and try and take opportunities. Oh, Merc thinking about it up the inside of the BMW. We've just kind of got to sit back. I was going to try and get a really nice run off the corner and settle the rear end on the way in there, and now we've got a load more cars as well closing in from behind. Still don't feel fully confident with the car around here at the moment. Again, the Merc not quite getting the run at the top of the hill through Pirotella. Oh, there we go. Audi peels into the pit lane then, so that's going to put the BMW at the front of our little train. Someone behind us, I don't think too happy. I think there's been another incident. Looking at the way someone's falling off my relative. But yeah, if these two can have a little bit of a squabble, I mean, they've already come to blows already once. We are starting to see a few cars peeling into the pit lane. Let's just see what we can do, as we're already up to 10x though. Incident in the Villeneuve chicane. I can't see anything. It might just be... Oh, no, there is definitely someone running slowly. Sometimes Jim gets a little bit over sort of confident with claiming there's been incidents if someone's just running a tiny bit wide, but that appears to be Robert then with issues. I don't know what car he was in, to be honest. But whatever car he's in is not in a good state. Oh, I think there was a little bit of do whatever he doesn't do there between Vincent and Jonathan. No, sorry, not Vincent. Jonathan, Vincent and Ilya, even I should say. I mean, we're still setting... Well, that was our new best lap of the day, into the 43s finally. So as the fuel burns off, the car, of course, understandably, is getting quicker. Merck not with the best line through turn 1. I wonder if he's going to peel into the pits at the end of this lap, and we might just get one lap of clean air running. Oh, this lap's going to be an even bigger improvement, but sadly, Vincent in front of me now seems to be able to get the hammer down. He has got a little bit more iRating than myself, but I've kind of set myself, you know, a bit of a personal goal. I want to try and get up towards sort of 2.5, 3,000 iRating over the course of 2023, as Team want to see in at the end of this one. So, you know, these sorts of drivers are the ones I've got to be able to beat. As that was another new personal best, though, for the afternoon. As definitely as the fuel's burnt off, this car, like I said, understandably, has become a lot quicker, but I've also become more confident in it. So that is not the line you want through there, Vincent. But I nick the second sausage curb, and that one can be even more lethal. Always a painful sound when you hear the GT3 cars bottom out over it as they rub the slitter along. But now we've got Jonathan again in that Audi. I think he might have been the car that span early on in this race. Has really been a man on a mission. Oh, we were mighty close to being able to extend the stint by one extra lap, but no point really risking it in a 40-minute race like this. You know, 3 seconds lost by lifting and coasting cannot very easily be regained again come the end of a race. Plus now with the new auto fuel mode on iRacing, it does make these sorts of things even less sort of interesting, I guess is the right word. Of course, I always used to be able to make up a few spots by people over-fueling the car, you know, not really getting their maths quite sussed out as we make sure we get the car slowed down nice and tidy. We've got a minute of optionals. That must have been for the contact with the Merc. How much fuel are they putting in? Got to be about 6 gallons, hasn't it? 7 gallons. How much fuel is it putting in?
15 minutes left.
Don't say it's putting a whole tank in. I don't need a whole tank of fuel. Oh, dearie me. I reckon I don't think I turned it on. Oh no, you can see the Merc there up the road. I've lost the spot to the Audi as well. I don't think I turned it on. Shock him, Matt. It's those little things. You've got to get sussed out on iRacing. As we are going to re-emerge then, just behind. I think we've only lost the 1 place to Jonathan. But yeah, that is still annoying. We'll get obviously a better idea of where we are at the end of this lap. Right, where have we re-emerged then in this race with all the goings on? I think we're at P15, I want to say. Yeah, it looks like we're P15 then. 14th. So, are we net gain on iRating? No, net minus 15. So I think I need P13 or higher here if I want to try and walk away with some iRating. Not convinced I'm going to get any SR as well. Already at 11x. Sorry, make that 12.
We've just had a warning for cutting the track.
Yeah. I think that goes and sums up how that's been going so far this afternoon, but you never know. A little bit more contact by other cars in front. We've been claiming freebies all afternoon up to this point. Can we try and claim a few more as we'll get that inherent TOSA understeer on a full tank of fuel again? Well, inside the final 10 minutes then, we are staying fairly close to Jonathan in front. Looks like Vincent is still struggling just a tiny bit in that Merc. He did start, I noticed he was a little bit slower in the final couple of laps of the, obviously the recent stint. As Jim just telling me that I've got time to sort it out. Not with lines like that, I don't. Horrible line through turn 1. We've still got Gillamy sort of slowly but surely closing in behind us there. He's got 2.6k iRating. So certainly is a very, very quick driver. But yeah, Vincent and Jonathan just in front of me still. I want to try and get closer, but I'm not liking my chances.
There's an incident in Ravazza 1.
Oh, don't rejoin!
We'll need to pit to serve this penalty.
Why? Why would you try to rejoin into the middle of a live racetrack? That's car totaled. Car's absolutely totaled. What on earth was that? There was 6 minutes left on the clock.
Look out for the pit speed limit.
We've not only got a drive-through penalty, but yeah, that's the car absolutely wrecked. I cannot believe that. What on earth was he doing? Oh, well, I think the evidence pretty damning there for Vincent. You can see off the circuit, spins it round, tries to rejoin, and completely... Oh, he takes out 2 of us. That's even more impressive. But yeah, that is our race. Completely GG's. I think luckily, it always sounds bad, but I think he's totaled his car as well. He's going to also run over, I think that's his own bumper, and then rejoin the track again, awfully. That is rather impressive. Oh, oh no. Minus 1.01 on the SR there, a minus 0.73. That really was not the race we would have wanted, but it looks like Victor took home the win ahead of Arthur and Otto there. We came through P22. I didn't realise it was only a 24-car field, to be completely honest, but... yeah, I don't know how Vincent got the place over me either. I'm guessing his car wasn't as badly damaged. But that has been an absolute disaster to kick off week 2 of 2023 Season 2. Thank you all so much for watching nonetheless, and hopefully whatever race we do next won't end up in as much death.